everyone, this is Gabriele from Third Eyes here, and today we are going to do a pick a card reading on what you need to leave behind and how you need to move forward. So today's pick a card reading is essentially about our South Node and our North Node. So the South and the North Node are abstract points in the sky. Astrologers typically use it in the astrological chart to understand the natives' karmic debts and karmic mission. They are essentially formed by the intersection between the path of the sun and the path of the moon. So where it sort of intersects one another, at one end is the South Node, and where it intersects at the other end is the North Node. So it's really a lot of technicalities, but what you really need to know is basically that the South Node is where we come from and the North Node is where we need to move towards. Essentially, because they are the South and the North, they are essentially polar opposites. So even as it manifests itself in the astrological chart, they tend to be, well, not they tend to be, but they are always in opposing signs. So if your South Node is in Capricorn, your North Node will be in Cancer. If your South Node is in Aries, your North Node will be in Libra. And because they are in opposing signs, they are also in opposing houses as well. It's really a lot of technicalities, so I'm going to simplify it for you. So I'm going to explain the South and the North Node in terms of polarity so that you understand why there is. So the South Node is like the past, it is where we must leave behind. So it is about the past, how we come into this world, our past tendencies. Some people even talk about the South Node as like a past life kind of thing. Okay, and the North Node is who we must increasingly learn to become. It's sort of like the future, our future selves. It's sort of like who we are learning to embody more and more. Because of this past and future polarity, the South Node also corresponds to what we must unlearn, and the North Node corresponds to what we're increasingly trying to learn to become. Okay? And because of the South and the North Node and the nature of its past and future, the South Node also corresponds to where we inherently just feel really, really safe. Because it's the past, right? It's past ways of being, past ways of looking at the world. So the North Node becomes this part of ourselves that is quite unsafe. It's something that we are really learning to embody more and more. Okay, and therefore it is unsafe. It is what we are learning to become. And when we are trying to be something that we are inherently not, it's inherently unsafe. The South Node is also where we feel stuck, where we feel really stuck, because it is our past, and it's this part of us that inherently we feel like, okay, we are comfortable with this, but I don't feel like this is where I really want to be, and I feel really, really stuck. Okay, and the North Node becomes something that allows us growth. Okay, it gives us a sense of growth. So the more we move towards our North Node, the more we want to grow. And growth comes from things which are unsafe. Growth is always future oriented, right? And therefore the South Node and the North Node polarity is also about what is our tendency, okay, our natural tendency versus what is our resistance. Okay, because the South Node is the past, so it tends to be what we tend to be like, so the tendency. And the North Node is what we must learn. It is the future, it is unsafe, and where we want to grow towards. And because it is about growth, it is about being unsafe, there is always a sense of resistance, right? So this will be the background of the pick a card reading that we are doing today, which is essentially about what we need to leave behind versus where we need to move forward. Do know that this pick a card reading is really more generalized. It's more for the collective. So if you want to do a more deep, specific, and more personalized reading with me, please feel free to drop me a DM. And if you want to look me up on my Instagram or my Facebook page, it's all in the video description below. And if you're ready, let's move on to the card selection portion. Hello everyone, welcome to the card selection portion of the video. As you see laying up in front of you, we have 5 crystals. So if you're new to pick a card reading, what you actually do is that you take a pause in this video for the moment and you decide which of these crystals call out to you. This is Bronzite, this is Nuumite, this is an Aquamarine, this is an Amazonite, and this is a green Opal. So for the moment, just take a deep breath and decide which of these crystals call out to you. And when you're ready, just jump ahead into the timestamp that these crystals represent. So I'll repeat again, this is Bronzite pile number 1, Nuumite pile number 2, Aquamarine pile number 3, Amazonite pile number 4, and green Opal pile number 5. So when you're ready, just jump straight into the timestamp and you will find your reading of what you need to leave behind and how you can move forward. So I will see you on the other side. See you later. Hello all of you who picked pile number 1. This is your pick a card reading. Those of you who picked the Bronzite pile, your pick a card reading is gonna start now. So I'm gonna go ahead and shuffle this deck of cards and see what's coming up. Right, so I'm gonna get started. So the first card I'm gonna pick is from the South Node. Okay, and let's just see what this card is. So this is the card that you need to leave behind, and this is the card that you need to move forward into. Let's see what those are. Okay, so we have the Four of Cups reverse, and we have the reverse Wheel of Fortune. So the first thing that comes to me when it comes to the Four of Cups is that it's essentially a card about dissatisfaction. Okay, when it's reversed, you know, the idea of dissatisfaction is further highlighted. So Four of Cups is this sense of like, okay, you know, I have 3 things of the same and something else is coming, a new cup is presenting itself to me and I'm just kind of like, bored, meh. So the reverse Four of Cups give me a sense that this sense of ennui, this sense of boredom, this sense of dissatisfaction is further emphasized. Oh, I also get a sense that what you need to leave behind is this sense that your life has only got that one thing that you're looking at that is precious to you, that represents everything, you know, that represents the holy grail, okay? And that, you know, wherever anything else that comes your way, you're just not happy with that. You're just unsatisfied with it, okay? I just get a sense that this is what the Four of Cups reverse is about for you, which is that, you know, what you need to leave behind is this mentality that if I can't get anything else that I put my eye on, my life sucks. You know, it's just that sense of like, that sense of all or nothingness, that sense that there can only be one way of being, one way of achieving, you know, perhaps your success or any kind of satisfaction in your lives, you know, be it a lover, a relationship, or, you know, even a job offer, you know. So, you know, you are someone who's quite dissatisfied, you know, who's easily dissatisfied with the things around you. Now, the Wheel of Fortune talks about the idea of fate, the idea that, you know, we all are in this gigantic wheel of fate where, you know, things move up and down, move up and down. There are good times when it's up, and then there are bad times, you know. There's a sense of like we are always in this state of ebb and flow. When it's reversed, I get a sense that what you need to leave behind in order to move towards is this sense that you have no control, that you need to let go and let the wheel take you. Okay, this is what you need to move towards, that you can't control the wheel of fortune. You can't have good things all the time. What you need to move away from is this dissatisfaction, this sense that there is only one thing that I like, that I want to have, and everything else sucks. And in the process thinking that if you can't get that holy grail that you have in your mind, it's not in your fate, and that you are meant to suffer, your life is meant to suck. Now, but what you're moving towards is to understand that, hey, you don't have control of the ebbs and flows of your lives. Sometimes things happen for a reason, okay? And you need to let go of this need for control, this need to have absolutely the very thing that you want, right? And to just let go and let the wheel of fortune take you, rather than having a fixated idea of what is right for you, what is good for you, what is satisfying for you, whatsoever. Okay? Let go of that pure ideal, that pure idea, and just let the wheel of fortune, let life take you and surprise you, and enjoy the ride along the way. So essentially what you need to leave behind and move towards to is about letting go of your expectations, letting go of what you think is satisfying or not satisfying for you. So I'm gonna pick two more cards. The first card would be the obstacle that's in your way from mastering your North Node, which is what you need to move towards to. Okay, so this is the card, and the next card that I'm picking would be about the lesson that you are meant to learn in this process. Just gonna see what they are. Okay, let's look at the obstacle. So this is the obstacle. Okay, the obstacle is the Hermit. And this is the lesson that you're mastering in this process, is the King of Cups. Because it's really interesting that you got card number 9 and this is card number 10. You see? Wheel of Fortune is 10, right? You have a card from the Cup suit here, from the Suit of Cups, and you have another card from the Suit of Cups here. Okay, let's see what they are. So I would say the obstacle that's in your way is very much related to what the Hermit is talking about. So the Hermit is a card about shedding light, about searching for truth. Usually it's a sense of the internal truth, internal guidance. It's interesting that you get the Hermit card as the obstacle, because the Hermit is not usually negative. I just get a sense that you're trying to find reason, spiritual reason or otherwise, to sort of understand and justify why you can't get what you want, why you can't satisfy your heart's desire, your what fulfills you, what you think fulfills you. You are going very deep into searching for reasons, for a deeper reason as to justify and to understand why you can't get what you want, why you can't have what you would like to have. And there's nothing wrong with that. I just want to be clear that there's nothing wrong with this search. But what is potentially not working for you is this sense that in some way you are just searching to justify why you can't get what you want. In some way you are confirming why your life sucks. Okay? And you do a lot of things. You do shamanic journeying, you do MBTI, this relentless search for an inner truth, an inner understanding, right? Which is usually a good thing, you see? But the thing is, when you are doing so much so that you can justify why you can't get what you want, right, it's not really serving you. Okay, I think some understanding is good. So these are obstacles, but they're by no means bad, or it doesn't mean that it's a no-no, you know. And the lesson you are learning, yeah, you know, I've said it. So King of Cups is about satisfaction. Okay, you look at this guy, you know, he's wearing a crown, okay, and he looks quite shabby, right? He looks like a hobo, right? But he is immensely wise, immensely satisfied with his life. Even though life was unsatisfying, you know, he's not rich, but he has managed to just allow himself to be happy and find a way to be satisfied with what he has in his life. You know, there is wisdom in that. Okay, so this is the lesson that you are meant to learn, you're meant to understand in order to get here. Okay, in order to get to where you need to go towards. Okay, which is all about, like I said, which is all about just letting the wheel of life flow with you, and understanding that it's not always a bed of roses. It's just allowing it to flow with you. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna pick one final card. So here we go. Okay, you got the Sloth card. Okay, so you know this card is about digital detox, recalibrate, reset, and recharge. Okay, you know, so I think I'm getting a sense of the narrative here. So the Sloth card is about slowing down. Okay, it's about slowing down, be at your pace, you know, being at your pace, reset and recharging into your own pace, your own slowness. And to, you know, the thing about sloth is that because they're so slow, they enjoy every single moment. They are with every single moment. Okay, so in some way it calls for a digital detox, because you know a lot of times our desire as a person, you know, what we are looking for, what we want, okay, you know, this holy grail that we're looking for, a lot of times they are not really what we want. They are what we think we want. They are things that we think we want based on the numerous images that has been bombarded by the media, by social media, by television, by the movies. You know, I want my six pack, I want lots of money, I want to be famous. I want to have this relationship that is like perfect. You know, those are great desires. Those are, you know, perfect desires, but whether they are really going to serve you, that's really another thing. Okay, those are legit desires, legit things and wishes to have, but they may or may not nourish or nurture you. They may or may not be what is it that you really truly on a soul level need. Okay, I'm gonna say that most of the time the holy grail that you're looking for, those things that you're looking for, the pleasures and the perfection that you're looking for from this holy grail, it's mostly informed from your ego. Okay, and that's fine, you know, that's not a bad thing. But because it is from your ego, you need to recognize that it may not be from your soul. Your soul may not be fully aligned with that. You think you are, but on a soul level, perhaps that's really not for you. Which is what this card is about. The guidance for you is to really slow down and reconnect deeply with yourself to understand what is it that you want. Be in the moment rather than, you know, having already an idea and the expectation of what and how things should turn out to be like, should be like. Just slowly move towards there, explore, take your time. Okay, now I'm not saying in this spread, I'm not saying that you can't get what you want. That's not what I'm saying, that you can't get what you want. But I think what I'm trying to really impress upon you is to really understand and really figure out whether what you think you want is really what you want. Okay? Because, I'm going to tell you that if you do get that very thing that you've desired for so friggin' long, when you finally get it, you're still gonna be meh. You're still gonna be unhappy because that's not really what you want. It's what you think you want. Okay? So, let life, enjoy life, take it slow, just allow yourself to recalibrate and just enjoy every moment. Okay? You're learning to be the King of Cups, which is that you're learning to understand happiness not from a physical or material space, but more from a fulfilled emotional space. You fill your own cup, you decide from a soul and emotional level what really nurtures you and what's really right for you. Move towards the reverse wheel of fortune, which is about just letting go. Letting go, let life takes you. Stop trying to control where it is going to go. So I hope this reading works for you. If you like this reading, please give it a thumbs up, okay? And subscribe to my channel, and click the bell, and I will see you in the next video. If you want a personalized reading, feel free to drop me a DM and I'll get back to you. Okay, so stay safe and I'll see you in the next video. Bye! Hello everyone with pick pile number 2. This is your pick a card reading. You've chosen the Nuumite, so this is the Nuumite pile. And let's just see what you're gonna get. So I'm gonna start off by shuffling these cards. So I'm going to start the pick a card reading by drawing 2 cards. One card to represent your south node, which is what you need to leave behind, and one card to represent the north node, which is where you are heading towards. Let's just see what you get. So this is the south node and this is the north node. Remember, these 2 cards are meant to be read in polarity. So let's see what you get. Okay, so the first card that you get is the 5 of Wands, reverse. Okay, this is your south node, this is what you need to leave behind. And the other card that we're going to is the north node, which is the Knight of Swords. Okay, this is where you need to go towards. So it is really interesting that the north node and south node card is represented by a polarity. Okay, this is fire, 5 of Wands is a fire card, and Knight of Swords is an air card. So fire and air, they're naturally polar opposites in astrology, in just even in the 4 elements, or in the Western cosmological sense, fire and air are naturally opposites. Now the 5 of Wands is a card that talks about striving. So the sense of strive, that sense that the sense of adversity, that sense that you're fighting against something. Usually in the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, the 5 of Wands is represented by a group of people who are sort of playing games or battling in like a competition kind of setting. So the 5 of Wands essentially, when it's reversed, talks about some kind of turmoil, some kind of tension. In this card, I get a sense that the fire is sort of gathering on each of the little fingers, and they're sort of trying to burn each other. But in the process of burning each other, ultimately the fire on the fingertips, right, it burns the hand, right? So when it's reversed, it's that sense of like energy and resources and people not really coming together. In fact, there's a sense that people fight against each other. There's active competition and strife. It's not generally a big thing, but it can be an issue I'll go more into this later when I see in context of this South Node position. Now, the Knight of Swords, when I see the Knight of Swords, what it tells me is essentially that, the North Node is about going towards something, right? Essentially, the North Node is about going towards something. It is about, leaving behind what doesn't serve you and going towards what gives you a sense of growth. So Knight of Swords is a card that is all about facing adversity. This person, whether it's a man or woman, I can't tell, but he or she is on the horseback. He or she is standing on horseback, and he or she is getting ready to jump off from the horse, to jump off and ready to strike. In many ways, the Knight of Swords is a card of movement. The Knight of Swords is a card of, just charging onward into battle. It is one of the most forward-moving knights in the tarot suit, and this card, especially in this position of where it is going towards, is generally a card about going for something, going towards for something. So I get a sense that the Five of Wands is a card about, this pageant together things, together perspective, ideas, especially ideas, because that's what the fire is all about, and the Five of Wands, 5 is a very unstable energy, and when it's reversed, I just get a sense of further instability in this card. So I get a sense that perhaps what you need to leave behind is this energy of trying to gather more and more ideas, more and more perspective, more and more opinions, and not really just going with it. And you see, the thing about Five of Wands is that it is a card about strife. So the more opinions you gather, the more perspective you try to get from different sources, they are bound to burn each other. They are bound to not work together. Okay? And what you really need to go toward is really to just pick one, and just go for it instead of just be in this process of trying to gather. I just get a sense of gathering because this hand just get a sense, just have the sense of like trying to gather, trying to hold something. So I'm just gonna pick more cards to see what else is coming up. So the next card that I'm going to pick is about the obstacle that is preventing you from leaving behind what you need to leave behind, which is represented by this card, and to go towards what you need to go towards. Okay, let's see what there is. Okay, oops, I guess it'll be this. Okay, I guess it'll be this. Let's see what comes up. So this is the obstacle. Yep, and I think this checks out quite well. So Ace of Wands is a card about, when it's upright, is this idea of fresh idea, fresh fertile kind of idea and inspiration, that has this potential for growth, potential to be something so much more. Now, when it's reversed, the Ace of Wands always talks about some kind of scatteredness. When you're gathering too much energy, too many perspectives, too many ideas, what tends to happen is that you don't make a decision, you don't make a choice, and what is in the way would be this scatteredness, right? And I just get a sense that based on the Ace of Wands reverse, the biggest sort of obstacle for you is this need to be right, to be correct, to have that perfect idea and a perfect ideology, or the perfect idea, in order to take action and move towards wherever is it that you need to move towards. I'm going to draw another card to see what is the lesson you're learning here. Okay, let's see what comes up. This is interesting because the previous pile also has this card. So this card is about the lesson that you're learning. Okay, so the lesson you're learning is, very similar. It's very similar to the previous pile. The Four of Cups is a card of ennui. It's a card of boredom and restlessness. Okay, this sense of dissatisfaction. Whereas the previous pile got it reversed, you guys got it upright. So I'm gonna say that there's the sense that I've tried many times, I've been given many opportunities, and they're more of the same. And now that even now when there's something new that comes up, my reaction is I'm not sure if I want to follow through with this. I'm not sure if I really want this, because it feels like it's going to be the same. The result, the satisfaction of it, it feels like it's going to be the same. So based on these 4 cards, I'm definitely going to say that there is an issue around getting too many perspectives, getting too many ideas, getting too many opinions, and trying to find the right one, and what you need to understand is this idea that whichever ideas you decide to go for, there's no right one, there's no right idea or right way or right philosophy or the perfect idea that you're looking for. There's none of that, and they're all essentially pretty much the same. Okay, they will give you the same satisfaction, and because of that you tend to just feel a little bit unhappy about getting more of the same. But I think the truth is, at the end of the day, the ideas are all going to be the same. They're going to give you similar, if not same, outcome. Okay, and the lesson is to understand that don't look for the holy grail, don't look for the perfect idea or the perfect card. You need to just be satisfied with the ideas, opinions, and perspectives that you have gathered, and just move towards it. To just move ferociously towards it. Just catch one, and move it into execution. By just waiting it out, by just gathering more information, more ideas, more perspective, doesn't quite delay the eventuality of you wanting to just go for it. Okay, having to go for it, having to execute it. And don't look for the right one. There's no right one. There's no one right idea. You just have to pick one and just go with it. Okay, let's look at what's the guidance for you that can help you that can bring you from here to here, from leaving behind what you need to leave behind and go towards what you need to go towards. So this is the guidance card, See, it's so interesting that you got 2 horse imagery in one spread. So the horse is about being a free spirit, giving yourself space and freedom to express your creativity. So I guess the implication is very, very clear. It's not about trying to gather more ideas, more information, more perspective, or learn more. It's not about trying to find the right one. Okay, and just allow yourself to embrace your creativity and just pick one and just go with it and just see what happens. When you spend so much time trying to pick the right tool, pick the right philosophy, the right ideas, when you spend so much time trying to pick one of them or trying to gather more of them, it's going to hamper your creativity. Interestingly, Ace of Wands, it is a very fertile and creative card, and you got it reversed. So one of the obstacles is this inability to just express yourself just as it is. This scatteredness. So the guidance is for you to just pick one, whatever it is, just pick one and just go for it, and see what happens. Okay, so pick one, go for it, execute. So power number 2, this is your pick a card reading. I hope this works for you, and let me know what you think. Leave your comments below. If this resonates for you, do give it a quick thumbs up, and drop me a DM or whatsoever if you would like to have a private session with me. Such readings can be more generalized, so drop me a DM and arrange a consultation with me, and I can do something more private and personalized for you. Okay, so I will see you in the next video. Bye. Hello, pile number 3, those who have picked the Aquamarine. This is your pick a card reading of what you need to leave behind and how you need to move forward. So I'm gonna go ahead and just start shuffling and see what comes up for you. So this card represents what you need to leave behind, and this card represents where you need to go forward. Let's just see what happens. Okay, you got a reverse 2 of Pentacles for the card that is about moving forward, and you got the reverse 4 of Pentacles, okay, which is the card about leaving behind. Okay, so you have 2 Pentacles cards, so I'm going to suggest that what you need to leave behind and move forward is essentially about money. So this card is a hoarding card. Okay, if you look at this card is actually, it's like a piggy bank, right? It's a little piggy bank. You put a coin into this thing here. Okay, this card is essentially a card about hoarding. Okay, when it's reversed, I think the hoarding tendency can be even stronger. I would say the problem here isn't so much about hoarding, but this fear of losing. And as I spin this around, I just get a sense of the porcelain bank sort of breaking. Is this fear of losing? I wouldn't say that you are greedy, but if there's a sense that you hoard all the time, you hoard resources all the time, and sometimes it may not even be about resources. It can be things like books, hoarding books, hoarding old stuff, old clothes, old shoes. This refusal to clear them out, to throw them away, or to pass them on is a sign of hoarding. Okay, and you hoard because of this fear of losing. So I'm gonna say that what you need to leave behind is this fear of losing, and therefore you hoard. The next card, this is where you need to go towards. Now, the 2 of Pentacles is a card, it is a work card. It is a card about money, definitely about money. In traditional imagery, the 2 of Pentacles is represented by someone trying to juggle 2 pentacles. If you look at this person that is juggling these 2 pentacles, she is like a fairy. So fairy is supposed to be quite fun, quite light and all that. Okay, but if you look at the card, okay, she doesn't seem like she is really having a lot of fun. Fairy and money, they don't quite match. They're not really congruent with one another, because the thing about fairies is that they're quite free spirited. They don't really care so much about money. But this particular fairy is looking so strongly at this this coin over here, and you see like there's sort of like almost like a scowl, and almost like a extreme focus, a hyper focus on this pentacle over here. She's so focused on this act of juggling. And you got a card with us, right? So I'm gonna say that what you need to move towards, is to just simply allow yourself to be light, and to be okay with, letting go one of the coin once in a while. So essentially, this card is about being okay with losing. Just focusing on what you really care about, you really want, in terms of your resources, of your work, of where your energy wants to be focused materially, and just focusing on that, and just letting the other things go, and don't be so hard up about trying to get everything right or everything in order all the time. Okay, I'm gonna pick more cards to show what else is coming up. So I'm gonna pick a card on the obstacle as well as what is the lesson you're learning. So this is the obstacle. Okay, and this is the lesson you are learning. Okay, so the lesson you're learning is the Empress. Wonderful. This is really wonderful. This is really wonderful. Obstacle that's in the way that's preventing you from moving towards where you need to go towards is it's interesting because we are all getting similar cards. The previous pile is this card as well. Okay, you got a Knight of Swords reverse. Okay, now when I pick this card, it becomes like beyond a doubt that your pile is essentially about money and resources and the idea of abundance. Okay, now for some reason I get a sense that this card is about risk. If you look at this card, this man or woman is standing on a horse, with a sword in his or her hand, getting ready to pounce, and it's a forward movement, forward motion, right? And you got this reverse, and I'm gonna say that I get a sense that the obstacle that's in your way is this feeling of being on a precipice all the time, and this refusal to just jump, to just take a leap and just trust and to just go for things. This fear, I would say, of doing those, because you feel like it's risky, it doesn't make sense. There's a fearfulness about it, there's uncertainty, and just a sense of uncertainty and fear. Just this fear about just jumping on board an opportunity, So you may feel like the obstacle is that you seem to be always on the precipice or something of making the next move, especially when it comes to your finances, right? And this card basically says, hey, just trust. You're already sitting on a horse. Just trust yourself and just jump and just seize the opportunity, and in the process just letting one other thing go so they can focus on the one thing that you truly care about, truly want. Okay, and this card, as the lesson you're learning, is a lesson of abundance. And the Empress is about abundance, fertility, productivity, abundance, this sense that you have everything, you are resourceful, you have things, and because when you start to recognize the abundant life that you have, the resources that you have, how abundant your life is, you're never in lack. And because you're never in lack, you are never going to feel like you need to hoard. You never feel like you need to, you never feel like there's this fear that's driving you to just keep hoarding. And you can finally just allow yourself to take risk and to jump on board onto an opportunity that you actually care about, okay, and that you actually enjoy. When you're abundant, you can do all these things. Okay, so this is the lesson you're learning. You need to learn abundance, and when you're abundant, you need to be okay with wastage, right? Because if you're abundant, then there is too much of some things, right? That's what abundance is about, right? Abundance is about having too much, having so much that it overflows, right? So if your life is abundant and full and it overflows, which means there is bound to be wastage, and you need to be okay with wastage. Okay, I also get a sense that you might also want to learn how to treat yourself right. I get a sense that you're very stingy with yourself. You don't really reward yourself. You don't really give yourself a chance to enjoy the abundance of life. Buying that expensive Bluetooth speaker, getting that massage that you want, having good food once in a while. I get a sense that you tend to hoard and don't really allow yourself to enjoy. Okay, so I'm gonna pick a final card for the guidance that can serve you. Let's just see what's coming up. So this is the card. Koi. Yeah. Yep. Do you see that, guys? Do you see that? You know, everything is about money and abundance, you know. Move the flow of abundance around and through you, right? So this is the guidance. I think this is really innate, you know. All your cards are about money and resources and about just allowing yourself to be in this state of abundance. Okay? So the final guidance for you is really to feel the abundance around you. Okay? Abundance is not necessarily resources. They are not necessarily resources. They are really, you know what they are? It's really an energy. You know, and the more you feel yourself into that energy, the more you allow yourself to recede into that energy, the more you can feel it all around you, the more you can generate more abundance. Okay? The more you can be more full and can feel the feeling of abundance all around you and generate and create more abundance in your life. I also get a sense that I just want to go back to this card for a little bit. I just get a sense that with the Two of Pentacles reversed as the card that represents the North Node, that represents what you need to go towards, you know, I get a sense that you may be in the process of trying to build something, trying to create some kind of business idea, you know. I just get a sense, especially because of this card, you know, I just get a sense that there is some kind of business idea, some kind of multiple income stream that we might be looking at here. So that there might be opportunities which are coming up with regards to multiple income streams, so just keep your eyes peeled. So thank you everyone who picked pile number 3, the Aquamarine pile. I hope this pick a card reading works for you. If you like this video, you know, give it a thumbs up, you know, comment, like and share it with all your friends, you know. If you like what I'm doing and you want a more personalized reading with me, feel free to drop me a DM and let's speak, okay? And let's arrange for a session so that we can have a more personalized reading with regards to whatever inquiry that you're looking at. Alright, okay, and I will see you in the next video. Bye! Hello everyone who picked pile number 4, the Amazonite pile. This is your pick a card reading. So I'm gonna go ahead and just shuffle and let's just see what you get. So the first 2 cards I'm going to draw would be about what you need to leave behind, which is this card, and what you need to move forward. And let's just see what you get. You've got, oh, the Hermit card. Oh damn, like the same cards keep repeating itself today. What you need to move forward into is the 9 of Cups. So these 2 cards needs to be read in polarity. So it's very interesting because these 2 cards are very, very different. Okay, if you look at the Hermit card, it is an old woman. She's holding a light. You know, this card has that sense of hardship and austerity. It's almost like what you need to leave behind is this sense of, you know, this sense that, you know, I'm trolling in a hardship, I'm struggling, I'm a victim of circumstances, you know, and I am by myself, and things are difficult for me. You know, it's that sense of like austerity, poverty, pain and suffering. Okay. Interestingly, the Hermit is also sort of like a teacher's kind of card, sort of like a guidance kind of card. So it could be that you are very spiritually inclined. You do a lot of spiritual stuff, but sometimes you can be a tad escapist. You tend to retreat, you know, and just be by yourself rather than just going out there, you know, and enjoy life as it should be, because your North Node, the card for your North Node, where you need to move towards, is the Nine of Cups. And the Nine of Cups is about enjoyment, you know. It's about licking that cream of this, you know, luscious and beautiful, luxurious cup, you know. Just this sense of like enjoying the fullness and the creaminess of life, you know, the sweetness of what it is. Okay, where you need to head towards is enjoyment. This is without a doubt where you need to head towards, and leave behind this sense of austerity, this sense of I'm suffering, I'm trotting on my own in the dark, and move towards enjoyment. Okay, let's see what are the cards that's in your way. Let's look at the obstacle, as well as what is the lesson you're learning. Okay, so this is the obstacle card, and this is the lesson that you're learning. Okay, let's just see what you get. You've got all the big cards, yeah? So you got the reverse moon. Okay, you got the moon reverse. I'll get into this later. And the King of Swords. This is what you are. This is the lesson that you are learning from all of this. So the moon card is always the card of a hidden. It's always about something that's hidden, something that lurks beneath the surface, something that lurks. It's always about something that lurks beneath the surface, something that's brewing there that you don't quite see. The reverse moon generally tells me that there are a lot of unexamined stuff that's beneath you, that is raging there, that is waiting to be seen, but you are sort of ignoring it. I get a sense that you probably have a lot of dreams at night, a lot of weird dreams, and dreams, psychologically, dreams are there to tell you something. You know, they don't just exist for a reason. They're there to help you to work through certain things. Okay, and your obstacle seems to be that there is some kind of underlying fear, some kind of underlying irrational complexes that you have not quite dealt with. There's a fear of the darkness, of showing up, you know, of showing yourself into the darkness, of seeing and looking at the unseen and the unknown. Okay, I'll talk more about this later. I want to move into the lesson that you're learning. Now, the King of Swords represents the lesson that you're learning, and the King of Swords is the powerful card. Okay, you know, and this guy, you know, he's suited up, he's quite measured, he's quite he's well sorted, you know. He is very well sorted, he's very mature, he's very responsible. It's interesting that, you know, his legs is a little bit you see this thing over here, there's this little contraption in his leg, you know. So, you know, it's interesting because this guy is like, okay, he's so well suited up, he's so well put together, okay, even though this does represent that there is some kind of wounding that he has, okay, but despite it all, he puts himself very well together, and he's very calm, very measured, very assured, and there's a sense of intellectualness to him, there's reasonableness to him as well. Okay, and this sort of is in contrast with the deeply emotional moon card, reverse moon card. You know, the suit of the sword tends to be a lot more rational. Yeah, so, you know, the obstacle is about this fear, this irrational fear, past habits, you know, subconscious habits, subconscious sort of beliefs and complexes that's brimming beneath the surface, that's there, that is sort of blocking you. Okay, and the hermit is in this position, you know, she is not someone that confront those things, you know. Maybe she does, she confronts it in her own time, but she doesn't own up to those things. She doesn't allow herself to come out from hiding. So the Hermit is the card of hiding, and the Moon has the hiding thing as well, because you know it's about what's beneath the surface, right? So you know, I'm gonna say that there is something about hiding. There's something about not showing up to your true potential. You perhaps, you know, out of fear, out of discomfort, out of habit even. I get a sense that when I see the King of Swords, and when I see this card as the lesson that you need to master, I get a sense that there is some kind of brokenness that is causing you to hide, to ignore what's beneath the surface, to not look deeply at what's really bugging you from a psychological complex kind of level. And the Hermit just give me a sense that, you know, you are running away from something, you know, and with this card, just get a sense that the reason why you're running away is perhaps because of some kind of injury, some kind of fear, some kind of damage, you know, sense of, or it may not be an actual like literal damage. It's just this feeling of being damaged, you know, like you're some kind of damaged goods, you know, it's preventing you from showing up and enjoying your life fully. And this is why, you know, this is what the King of Swords is about. It's about being this person that just, you know, no matter how damaged you are, you sort yourself out. You be reasonable, you be responsible, you be very clear with your goals, and you know, you don't let it be an issue and problem for you, and you just allow yourself to work at it. And you see there are a lot of winged creature around him. Okay, so despite not being able to walk properly, he's sort of represented by all these other winged creature, which sort of represents that, you know, he can't walk but he can fly. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and pick one final card to represent the guidance that you need to take to help you move away from this to this. Let's see what's coming up. Ooh, Polar Bear, nurture, allow any anxieties and worries to be gently released and offered up to be healed. Okay, this is a really lovely card to end with. So the Polar Bear is a card that is very nurturing and protective. It's very much about, you know, just allowing yourself to brave through the snowstorm, to trust that you'll be protected from the elements, to trust in the guidance that come, and to just allow yourself to be nurtured, especially when you're in difficult crisis, difficult time. I get a sense that, you know, with cards like all of these, I get a sense that perhaps your life conditions aren't great. Okay, but definitely the Polar Bear indicates that, you know, instead of running away, instead of trying to avoid confronting your pain, and just allowing yourself to suffer, you know, try looking at it, you know, try digging and you know, suffer through the various complexes that's within you, that's hiding within you, that's waiting to be unearthed. Try to allow yourself to see through all those things, confront them and work at them, and see what can come up and come out of them. Okay, and to nurture yourself and to just say, you know, it's okay, you know, keep trying anyway, it's okay, to just keep showing up, even though a part of you really feels that you're suffering, that, you know, there's a lot of fear, and you want to just retreat back into your silence and into your loneliness. You know, just keep showing up and you'll be guided, and that you'll be okay. And this is what I have for you. So let me know what you think. Leave your comments below. If this pick a card reading really works for you, please give it a like, thumbs up, share it with all your friends, and, you know, let me know what you think. Leave your comments below. Okay, I do personalized reading. If you are keen in getting one from me, just drop me a DM and let's arrange for a session. Okay, so I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye! Okay, all of you have picked the last pile, the green opal pile. This is your pick a card reading. And I'm just gonna go ahead and see what you get. Okay, I'm gonna shuffle the cards first. Okay, so what you need to leave behind is Two of Swords, reverse. Okay, let's talk more about this later. How you need to move forward into what you need to embody is the King of Cups. Jesus, the cards keep repeating itself. This has been shown in previous piles as well. Okay, let's just see what's coming up. Cool. So now the Two of Swords is a card about decision making. So you get a card reverse. I get a sense that you're not someone that listens to your guidance. You prefer to weigh your options, and you keep weighing your options, but it just confuses you. It just basically confuses you, right? This is what the Two of Swords is essentially about. Okay, it's that you're trying to tie this puzzle in an absolutely perfect and neat kind of way, but the thing is that that's not how it works, right? Sometimes decision making is always emotional. Okay, no matter how rational it seems to be, it is always emotional. Okay, so so this is what you need to leave behind, this sense that you need to keep weighing your options, keep thinking, keep in some way getting new information to make all these choice and decision. It's like you're trying to find a logical way to resolve and make your choice and decision, but that's not really how it works. Okay, I'm gonna move to the next card. So this is the card that's about where you need to move towards. So the King of Cups is an emotional card. Okay, when it's reversed, it is an emotional card. It is softer, it is more intuitive, it's less logical like the sword, and it's more intuitive. The King of Cups in general, as an upright card, is a card that is about this measuredness when it comes to emotions. So still emotional, but is measured and is able to somehow restrain and control it to a way that works for him. When it's reversed, I'm gonna say that the scale is towards the more emotional side of things. Okay, to allow yourself to be led by emotions, to be overcome and led by emotions, rather than just being purely and squarely in the sword, the air and mental kind of zone, right? So King of Cups in reverse, not generally a positive card, but if you find yourself to be someone who is overly logical, then this card really makes a lot of sense, because the other way is to swing, the other way is to learn to swing to the other end, because if you're not emotional as a person, when you try to do the emotions, 100% only feels like 10%, right? So be emotional, allow yourself to be guided and ruled by your emotion, and let the emotions be part of the decision making process. Okay, I'm going to pick two more cards to represent the obstacle that's in your way, that prevents you from moving away from your south node and to your north node. So this is the obstacle. Six of Cups. Six of Cups, reverse. Okay, and I'm gonna pick a card for the lesson that you are learning from all of this. So the card for the lesson that you're learning for all of this, the Lovers. So I'm gonna say the obstacle really is about regrets. Six of Cups is a card about nostalgia. Okay, it's a card about the past, right? When it's reversed, just get a sense that you're always tripped by the past. You always get the sense of like, okay, if I've not made decision A, and I've made decision B instead, maybe now things will be different. Is this unhealthy relationship with memories and nostalgia, with the past? There's always full of regrets and wistfulness, and I think that's the reason, and I get a sense that it's interesting that the card that trips you up is a card that is very water-like. Okay, it's very water-like, because it seems like it's more aligned to this side rather than this side, right? I think what this card really says is that, as a person, you're not completely unemotional. You're actually super emotional about things, but you get tripped up by the past, and the past is always very emotional, right? Because it's the past, right? It's emotional because it's meant to be emotional impressions, so I get a sense that you're not someone that allows the emotions to lead the decision-making process, because you've always this sense of like a unhealthy relationship with the what-ifs, and this sense of wistfulness and regrets of where you were versus where you're going towards. Okay? The lesson you're learning is about perspectives. It's also very much about sort of conjoining the yin and the yang, the yin representing by the woman and the yang representing by the male figure. Okay? And the yin is more emotional and the yang is more rational, like the sword, right? It's a matter of perspective, it's a matter of learning to combine both, learning to be aware that both are equally legitimate, both are equally able to help you to come to a decision, and it's important to maintain a healthy relationship between both. I'm also wondering at this point if some of the lessons that you need to learn is very relationship in nature. It could be that some kind of relationships was involved. You were involved with some kind of relationships and it didn't turn out well. So the question is, how can you healthily manage and use the two sides of you productively, and allow you to make magic? So yeah, both are, I would say, see the thing about the thing about the North Node and the South Node is that this is the tendency that you tend to have, and that this other part of you that you're equally good at, but you tend to ignore it because it's uncomfortable, so you tend to fall back into this, so it is about trying to manage and bring together both, and I'm gonna say that this is the part that you need to do a little bit more to practice, to try out. Maybe you have been burned before, using your heart to do things, to make some kind of decisions, or even to forge some kind of relationship. Okay, and maybe you've been hurt before and you don't want to go back to it again, but you are an emotional being. Okay, the emotions are not just gonna go away because you want to avoid them, right? Okay, so I'm gonna pick one final card to represent the guidance that you can take to help you. Okay, let's just see what's coming up. Strength. So it's a hare. Take time to make clear decisions. Haha. Bring awareness and light to the situation. Okay. So I guess this just re-anchors that this reading here is all about decision making. So the hare is a creature that is quite resourceful, very smart, and is very instinctive as well. Okay, he doesn't allow himself to be tripped and overthink on decisions, because the thing about the hare is that, you know, when you're living a life on the fly, you have to make your decisions quickly. If you are a tad too slow, you're gonna get eaten up by a predator, okay, or you're gonna miss your food, right? And this is what the hare is all about, you know, this whole quickness and reflexes, and this ability to make very clear decision, okay? And I guess at the end of the day, the hare is about learning to switch tack. You know, you don't have to be so rational and logical all the time that you go into this whole inability to make deliberate choice because you are weighing too hard on the pros and cons. But it's also not about just fully, you know, just being overly emotional at the expense that you're at a point of like being blinded by it. Okay, the hare calls for this ability to switch tack, to be flexible, but at the same time, the hare is also about this ability to just have the strength within you to tolerate any hardship, especially if the hardships are emotional in nature. I get a sense that, you know, even though your South Node, the card that you need to leave behind, is a mental card, the rest of your spread, you know, these three cards in particular, feels quite emotional, it's like they are the matters of the heart, you know. And the hare calls for you to develop this mental toughness to weather through, you know, difficult emotional situations, okay, especially when you choose to be emotional, when you choose to have your heart lead you rather than to have your mind. Okay, so yes, tenacity, tenaciousness, yeah. Okay, remember, you know, what you are learning from all of this is to really fully embody the two sides of who you are, you know, not just the yang part, but the yin part. Okay, only when you can combine the two of them, then can you really fully embody yourself wholly and fully. Okay, so thank you everyone, all of you who've picked pile number 5, the last pile, the green opal pile. This is your pick a card reading. I hope this reading works for you. If you like this reading, don't forget to give it a quick thumbs up, share with all your friends, leave a comment below. If you would like to do a personalized reading with me, just drop me a DM and I'll get back to you. Okay, so thank you everyone who picked pile number 5, the green opal pile. This is your pick a card reading. If this reading works for you, if you really like this reading, don't forget to give it a quick thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, click the bell, you know, share this video to all your friends, leave a comment below. And if you really want a personalized reading, you know, feel free to drop me a DM and let's arrange for a session. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!